Hi guys, and welcome to our Wellness Wednesday. We're going to continue looking at nutrition labels and how to understand that information that are on these food items. And ultimately, our goal is today to learn how to make the healthier choice when you're given all these food options. So we are right here on our employability lessons on Wednesday, 422, label, logic, and snack comparison. So we're going to do a few things here. We're going to review last week's nutrition information, and then we're going to read this label logic article, and we're going to complete some nutrition fact questions on 3 different labels with some snacks, and then we're going to complete your own comparison activity with 2 items in your house. So I have 2 items today, so I'm going to show you what that's going to look like. So just to review, we did this last week. We just talked about general information regarding nutrition and fitness. We went over what it means to take care of yourself. And really what we learned was that means 2 things. That means getting physical activity, taking care of your body, whether that's running, doing yard work, stretching, doing yoga, anything that is for your body that makes your body feel better and getting that exercise and burning those calories. So 1 was that physical activity. Number 2, it's important what you eat as well. That's a big part of taking care of yourself. So you guys are young adults. You are making your own food choices most of the time. So we want you to know how to make those responsible decisions. Again, not saying candy's bad and we can never eat ice cream. Just talking about what nutrients your body needs, because we all need different nutrients, and then also, being able to look at these food labels and be able to see if that food item has those nutrients that you need for your body to feel good. So we talked about different things. We talked about nutrients and how those are very important. How we want to find foods that have a lot of nutrients. We want to find foods that has less sodium, less carbohydrates, those types of things. And that, again, makes our bodies feel good, and it keeps us from either becoming underweight or overweight, depending on our food choices there. So a very popular graphic used now is called My Plate. And this is an example of like how many fruits and vegetables and grains and dairy, because we should be incorporating that and putting those in our diets as much as possible. Eating a variety of foods is always good as well, so you can get those different nutrients. So you completed your guided notes last week along with your nutrition facts label here that was on some mac and cheese label that you just filled in, either with the sample provided for you or with an item in your household. So gave you a choice on that. Yeah, here we go, right here. So gave you a choice on that, either to use this one for the sample mac and cheese or just one at your home. Today we will be using items from your household. I've actually brought in a few items from mine just to give you an example as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started here with our label logic. So go ahead and find those in your binders. You're going to need, for today's lesson, you're going to need this handout, label logic. And on the back of this sheet, there's some practice activities that we're going to do on 3 different items here. So that's on the back. So make sure you have this paper along with this activity. This is the one that you're going to use for your own household items. Of course, your Wednesday physical activity chart. So make sure you have all those items out. Also need a pen. And then again, 2 food items from your pantry. And you can get those after the video, but you will need, I cut mine out, but you will need 2 different nutrition labels from 2 food items in your pantry. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and get started here with label logic. All right. So I'm going to hold it up here, maybe move my computer a little closer so you guys can see. So I'm going to start reading right here about label logic, get the nutrition facts. So food labels, and that's what we're talking about here with these food labels, these nutrition fact labels. Food labels tell you a lot about food. They don't suggest what food to eat. That's your own decision. But using food labels can help you make choices about the food you eat. Okay? So again, we're not telling you what to eat. We're just trying to learn how you can make those best decisions for what you put in your body. So what's the point, Ms. Carl? We always want to know what's the point. So nutrition fact labels provide nutrition information in an easy to read format. But the label can be overwhelming with how much information is on it. Don't try to use all the information at once. Instead, we're going to choose a target area, several areas actually, and we're going to make a choice based on that information. The nutrition fact label is meant to serve as a guide in order to help you make healthier food choices. Because once again, it is all on you. It is your decision. So here we go here. We have a sample label here before we get started with our activity. So what's on the nutrition facts label? Check out the sample below to learn more about information found on nutrition facts label. I know, we went over this last time, but it's always good for a review. So serving size is one of the items that you're going to see right up here at the top of any food label. It'll say serving size, and it'll say 1 cup, 2 cups, and sometimes with chips and different items like that, it'll tell you how many is in a serving size. So serving size is similar to sizes for smaller foods. It helps consumers to compare the foods. The amount of calories and nutrients listed on the nutrition facts is based on 1 serving. So that's just important to keep in mind. All this information only applies or is only correct for that serving size. So you gotta think about, are you eating 1 serving size or are you eating 2 serving sizes? And if so, then this information is actually more than what's listed. So next thing, we're just going to keep going down here. This is the total number of calories found in 1 serving. So one of the top things that you'll see is calories. Calories are not bad. Calories are, remember, units of energy for your body. It's like that we talked about how your body's like a car and it needs oil. Well, that's like what the calories are. Now, what we do need to look at is different things like calories from fat, and we'll go into that. But this tells you how many calories. You should be eating as many calories as you're burning each day for a healthy diet to stay at your weight. And then right here, you'll see these nutrients listed on this part of the food label are important to your health. You should eat less of some nutrients like fat, cholesterol, and sodium. Remember, sodium is salt. And more of other nutrients like fiber and calcium. Those things are good. Okay? So then right here at the bottom too, we have this percent daily values, and I know that can get confusing. But these are based on the recommended intakes when eating 2,000 calories per day. Percent values are also listed for the persons eating 2,500 calories per day. And because you're young adults, you would be higher. Most of us would be higher than that 2,000 a day. So then over here, we have the percent daily values can be used to compare foods to see how this food fits into your current daily diet. Right here. So you see here you have these nutrients, and then you have the percent values that you should have. Remember, percents are out of 100. So if this has 20%, you know that you still have that 80% in other items you can eat throughout the day. So these nutrients can help you avoid eating too much fat, saturated fat, trans fat, cholesterol, and sodium. Again, these are all not really good things here. So just to kind of put a little graphic on here. Not so good things right here. Okay, we want to kind of avoid these things. All right. Now, the good things. These nutrients can help you get enough dietary fiber is good, vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. So anything that has that vitamin in it is going to be a good thing for you. Vitamin A is great. Vitamin C is good. That's what oranges have. That's what a lot of that citrus stuff has for you. Also, vitamin D helps you build a strong immune system, which is important for a lot of our population right now with the virus going on. Calcium is also good for bones. And then iron as well is very good for you. So those are kind of, I'll put a smiley face on these because these are the things we want, okay? So these are the things we don't want so much of. These are the things we do want a lot of, okay? And then I'll read lastly down here before we move on to our activity. I don't know why I can't get this. I'll never master it. I'm sorry, guys. It just might not ever happen. All right. If the percent daily value for, geez Louise. Okay, if the percent daily value for a nutrient is 5% or less, that means the food is low in that nutrient. So it doesn't have a whole lot in there. If the percent is more than 20 or more, that means that it's high. That means it's that high nutrient dense food, which was what we like. So now we're going to flip on over here to our activity. We have on this other side, we have 3 different food labels here that we're just going to get some good practice with. So I'm going to read here at the top. Just looking at the nutrition facts label doesn't always tell us what we're actually eating. The amounts listed on the label are for 1 serving. But what if we eat 2 servings? What? Sometimes we do, especially if it's a big bag of chips. Or even if you eat the whole package. A few simple calculations will help you figure out how many calories or grams of fat are in the servings that you actually eat and consume. Compare the snack food nutrient labels and fill the information below. And then we're going to select out of these 3 labels which one we would choose. So give us a little practice for our activity, our final activity we're going to do here in a little bit. So we're looking at our first food label. So these are twists, 20 twists. Of course, our serving size is 10. Here we have 1 apple. Serving size is 1 apple. And then we have half a cup of trail mix, and that's 1/4. They're trying to disguise this a little bit as a math lesson, so we're going to make it easy on ourselves real quick, okay? So where it says 20 twists, you can go ahead and mark that. Because that's not what I'm trying to do today. It's not Math Wednesdays, right? It's Wellness Wednesdays. So put 10 twists here, because we're just gonna make it the same as the serving size here. So put 10 twists over that too. Put a 1 over that too to make 10 twists. And then this one, we are going to do 1/4 of a cup of trail mix. Okay, so you can make that 2 of 4 here. So 1/4 cup of trail mix. Okay, not really trying to make you guys solve any improper fractions today. Not feeling like that, as I'm sure you're not either. So we are going to get started here. We're going to start looking at these food labels. So again, the first one is 20 twists. I don't know if those are like the cinnamon twist. You can get it Taco Bell or what they are. I love those. Okay, first question. Under the twists, under our first food label, Shaw. Okay. Serving size on the label. So look at the serving size on this label. How many? 10. So we are going to write 10 twists. Okay. Our next question is calories per serving. So remember the calories are right up here at the top. So calories per serving, we see 228 calories. So all you have to do is just write 228. 228 right here in the calories per serving. And then our next question is total fat grams per serving. So it's going to be right under the calories, total fat. And you can see that little g, that's what means grams. Those are smaller units of weight that we use to weigh smaller things. Like people, we're weighed in pounds, right? So smaller things like food items, they're not going to be always a pound, so a smaller unit of weight there is a gram. So we see here that our total fat is 2 grams. So we'll write 2 grams. 2, lowercase g. And then we have calories, calories in your serving is the same because we kept it the same. So again, 228. And then total fat grams is the same. Okay? So we're just going to keep that all the same right there. So really it's just the same question again and again. The only reason they asked us that is because they were trying to make us do some doggone math, which we're not doing today. Okay, next one, we are going to go into an apple. Here we go. So this is a nutrition fact label for an apple. I don't really know where I've never seen one for an apple. Typically, it's kind of hard for fruits and vegetables and stuff because those are like laid out in the produce. But you can look up some different things if they're packaged. You can look online too to see what some nutrition facts would be for those. So this is a sample nutrition fact for an apple. So question here, what's the serving size on the label? 1 medium apple. And that kind of like tells you the size. So we'll just write the same thing here, 1 medium apple. Okay. And calories per serving. So how many calories are in 1 medium apple? Well, probably have already found it because you're getting the hang of this. Right here, we got 65. 65 calories in 1 medium apple. I wonder what type of apple it is. Total fat grams in a serving. Per serving. Total fat grams. So then right under the calories here, we go to total fat, and we see 0. But you can imagine that's a good thing. Low in fat is always good. All right, calories in your serving, same thing. Same questions. So we'll try that 65 and 0 grams again. All right, now we're gonna come over to some trail mix. Trail mix is like that Chex Mix. It's got different items in it. There's all types of trail mix. Some have even M&Ms in it. So some have raisins, the little grains in there. So this is just a sample trail mix. Remember, we're doing 1/4 cup. So it's gonna ask the same stuff here again. So serving in a label of a trail mix, the serving size here, of course, 1/4 of a cup. One-fourth cup. The calories in there, 150. Total fat grams, we have 9. So we're going to write 9G. So this is what I have so far. Then it asks us the same questions, like calories in your serving and total fat grams in your serving. So we'll just write that 150 grams again. Sorry about that. So ask us some questions at the bottom here. Based on your servings, which snack was the lowest in total fat? So which one had the least total fat per serving. So we have 2 grams, 0 grams, and 9 grams. So which one was the lowest? Ding, 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 ding. You're right. The apple. So we're going to write apple. All right, and then which snack is the lowest in saturated fat? Remember, we don't want that saturated fat either. So we look here. It's asking us questions they didn't ask us down here, so that's okay. We can still look for it. So saturated fat, 0 grams for the twist. Saturated fat for the apple was 0 grams as well. And then saturated fat for the trail mix is actually 2 grams. So it asks us which has the lowest. So actually both the apple and the twists. That's okay, we can write apple and twists. And then which snack is the lowest in calories? So we have the calories here on the twist were 228, 65 for the apple, and then 150 calories for the trail mix. So which had the lowest, the least? Ding, 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 you're right, the apple. So we're going to write apple again there. And then our last question is, which snack would you choose? So again, Miss Carr, Paula's not going to be around to tell you, oh, you should eat this, you should eat that. Your parents aren't, you're young adults, you're making these decisions. So that's the whole point, is for you to get this information and then make the best decision. So of course you're like, well, you know, the apple is probably the best decision. I would agree with you. So as you can see in most of these questions, you know, they're asking low total fat. Yes, apple, that's good. What's the lowest in saturated fat? Apple and twist, that's good. And then the lowest in calories, apple. But look, you need to look here too. These twists, they had a lot of total, they had some total fat grams that were 2. And then you had the same thing over here with the trail mix. So you got to look at that. And those total fat grams, you know, again, aren't great. You want something that's, again, high in those nutrients, but low in that total fat area and that cholesterol and those items. So your choice, I am going to go with the apple. I think the apple is the best choice here because we can see here it applied to each of our questions here, which made it the healthiest. So I designed our next activity to be similar. I actually made this myself a couple of years back. So if there's any typos in it, you know why. But I wanted it to be similar to this, but just kind of make it your own. So the next activity we're going to get out is we're going to get out this food label activity. And you're going to compare 2 food items. So again, just like the activity with our label logic, which one ever has the most circles or the answers is most likely going to be your healthier choice. So let's review this because I have done it with classes and it can get confusing and I've never done this lesson virtually, so I want to make sure you guys understand how to complete this on your own. Remember, you're completing this on your own with your own snacks that you have at home. You can use drinks as well. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, and I'll show you the examples that I brought in today. But just let me show you this chart real quick so you can see. So of course you'll put your name and your date because this is our last activity that we're doing on food labels. So it's kind of like our last little quiz to see how much we learned here. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a name of food label A. So we'll put a name here for our first food item we're bringing in today, and then a second food item. So we have a label A and a label B, as you can see here on your choices. So then what you're going to do is you're going to compare these labels, and I'm going to do this as an example with mine that I chose today to give you a good, clear walkthrough on this. but we're going to circle the food label that is best described. So some of these ask which has the least, some ask which has the most. So the least sodium, least carbohydrates, least saturated fat, least sugar, least calories from fat, least calories from per serving, most protein, most vitamin A, and most calcium. So whichever one you're circling and you'll count at the end, whichever one has the most circles, then that's your better choice for your food item. Now, I don't know what you're going to choose. So if you choose two items and they happen to have the same amount, then maybe it's just, they're the same. It doesn't matter which one you eat. One's just as healthy as the other. So I brought in two food items. I would encourage you to really make this activity a little more clear for you, is maybe choose an item that is, I think, is pretty healthy, and then maybe go and then find an item that is kind of like, I shouldn't eat this like all the time. So maybe like pick something that's on the little unhealthier side, you think, and maybe one thing that's a little on the healthier side. One thing that always works best too is if there's similar items. So if you're going to choose a soda, then maybe get, like, if you have a Pepsi or a Coke, maybe then get like a ginger ale or something like that. Make them kind of similar items. I went with snack items, and you can do snack items like if you want to do two different types of chips. I actually am doing chips and Twinkies. So why I have Twinkies in my house, you'll have to ask my husband. He's a fan. So my first food item I have is Twinkies here. He looks like the peanut guy. I don't know what's the deal. So I have Twinkies. And then I also brought in, I know this is a favorite of some of you guys, I'm dropping them a little bit, but I have these veggie straws, these garden veggie straws. I got a huge bag from Costco. So I have garden veggie straws, which I thought, they're probably going to be healthy because it says veggie, right? It's got to be healthy. But we're going to see. So I am comparing two food labels between my veggie straws and my Twinkies to see which one's the better choice. Of course, you guys are like, "This car, you should know." But again, we're just doing this as an activity so you can compare other food items maybe when you're shopping or at your house. So what I did to make this easier on me, please, you do not have to do this. I don't want parents to be upset you going in and cutting out food labels on bags and stuff. I just cut mine out because it's easier to show you, so you don't have to cut yours out. But you can just look at them. So these are the Twinkies on this smaller nutrition facts label. And here, sorry, they're so crunched up, obviously I've been eating them. But here's our nutrition facts label for the veggie straws. So I'm going to have those two labels out in front of me as I go through and answer this. Okay? So of course, I've got to write my name and date. It's the 22nd, right? Yay! Hope you guys are keeping track what day it is too. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Okay. So my first one I'm going to write right here my first item, which I said was going to be my Twinkies. So this is going to be my food label A. Twinkies. Yes, spelled it correctly. Okay. And then my food label B is going to be veggie straws. So again, just use any two food items. Maybe snack items are going to be something easier. I know we have a lot of snacks. Some of us do. Maybe if you want to compare mac and cheese, different types of food, like if you have two different mac and cheeses, little Chef Boyardee's to soups, you can compare soups, any of those things. But once you find your two items, you're going to write one of them here, and that's your food label A. So food label A is going to be Twinkies. I'm going to circle this if it's Twinkies is the answer. And then veggie straws is food label B. I'm going to circle B if veggie straws is the answer. Okay, I think that's where most of us get confused. So here we go, our first question. Which one has less sodium per serving? So which one has less salt? So I'm going to look here at my food label for Twinkies. Sorry, I'm getting a glare. And I have 350 milligrams, okay, in my salt for the Twinkies. So it's 350 there. And then on my veggie straws for my sodium, I have 200. Okay, so I have 200 compared to 350 in the Twinkies. So which one had the least? The veggie straws. And the veggie straws are my food label B. So I'm going to circle label B. My next question, less carbohydrates per serving. So look at my Twinkies. Total carbohydrates, 43 grams. Total carbohydrates, 16 grams. So I'm looking for which one had the least. Again, it was my veggie straws, label B. So again, as you guys are doing, just this is like a tip to you and parents, just make sure you remember which one is your label A and your label B here. And you can always look up there to see which one you wrote down. All right, next question, less saturated fat per serving. Less saturated fat. So my saturated fat in my Twinkies is 3.5. And my saturated fat in my veggie straws is just 0.5. Okay, so that is lower. So again, I am going to circle my label B here. Veggie straws are looking good, looking like the good choice so far. We'll see. All right, less sugar per serving. Remember, sugar is high in calories, but it's low in those nutrients. So that's something you always want to monitor, without your sugar intake, that we're not eating too much. So how much sugar do these Twinkies have in them? Right down here, you'll see under carbohydrates, because sugar is a carb. Sugar's 29 grams in my Twinkies. Now my veggie straws, sugar is less than 1 gram. So if it says less than 1 gram, you can just put that 1 gram. So veggie straws have 1 gram, and my Twinkies have 29. So wow, sugar, the veggie straws definitely have a lot less sugar in them. All right, next question, which is less calories from fat? Twinkies. Let's see, saturated. All right, calories from fat. So calories from fat, you'll see right here is right up at the top where calories are listed. And it'll tell you which ones, which calories are from fat. So we have 80 calories from fat in our Twinkies. And in our veggie straw, sorry, again, I know it's hard because I've been definitely eating a lot of veggie straws lately. 60 calories from fat in there. So this one has 60. The veggie straws have 60 calories from fat. The Twinkies have 80. So my veggie straws, again, going to get that circled that they have less calories from fat. Now we're going to see which one has less calories per serving. That's right, again, right by there. So my Twinkies per serving, remember our serving size is 2 cakes. So 2 of these is a serving size. That's actually a lot. I would think it would be only 1. So 2 of these, I can't believe my husband eats those. Maybe they're good. I'm not judging too much. So 2 cakes per serving, calories for 2 cakes is 260 for my Twinkies. For my veggie straws, see, a serving size is 1 ounce. That's about 38 straws. You can eat 38. That would be a serving size. And how many calories? I have 130. So I have 130 calories on my veggie straws. And then 260 on my Twinkies. So the one that has the less is veggie straws. Okay. Keeping going. Which one has the most protein? Now you might come across, depending on what you've chosen, you might come across things that don't have something that just has 0, and that's fine. That that happens, it's not going to be, you didn't make a mistake or anything. So most protein. So let's look at one at a time here, Paula. Protein in my Twinkies is 2 grams. So we're looking for the most. So veggie straws have got to be 2 to be the most. Protein is less than 1 grams. So Twinkies actually have more protein. So we're going to circle my label A for Twinkies here. Most protein. Most vitamin A. Let's see. So if you get this, and you might get this on a lot of snack items, not a significant source of vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, or iron. These are the veggie straws. So nothing there. And then we're looking at vitamin A for Twinkies. 0. So neither one have any vitamin A. So if you come across that, that's totally fine. You can just cross both out because neither had vitamin A. So that's okay. Again, you're going to come across that. All right, let's look at one last thing. Which has more calcium? Good for them bones. So right here, calcium is actually 2% in our Twinkies. And again, it says not a significant source on my veggie straws, not a significant source of calcium. So it really doesn't have any to give. So Twinkies actually win on calcium because that dairy filling is probably in there. So here we go. Here's my results. All right. So like I said, at the bottom, it's going to ask you which is the healthier food choice in your opinion. So not really any wrong answer, just, seeing if you can make that best choice. I'll give you a hint. Whichever one has the most circles, so whichever one has the most circles is going to be your healthier choice for a food item. So in my case, I definitely have way more. You might have to count them. But I can just go ahead and look at it and see that, man, I have way more circles over here in my label B, which are my veggie straws. So I'm going to go with my veggie straws. That's my answer. So hopefully this walkthrough kind of helped you. I know it's a little bit of a longer lesson today, and I'm a little later getting it out to you guys because I had issues. I guess my storage on my computer is kind of filling up with all the videos I'm doing, so I had to clear out some storage this morning. So sorry I'm a little late getting this video to you guys in the afternoon. But complete all those activities there. Use that walkthrough, rewind to any section that you need. And then don't forget that physical activity chart. Take a walk. It's a beautiful day today. Take a walk. If you can, take a dog for a walk. Go out and do some yard work. I know that's been a popular thing too. So get out there, get some activity today, and go ahead and log that on your activity chart. Otherwise, it's Wednesday, so we'll be doing our fun social at 3. I'm so excited. There's a couple things. One, we are going to dress up, and it might be just me. But I am going to wear a crazy costume, like Halloween a little bit, to today's social, just to throw some fun in there. So I'll see you guys at 3. I'll send those invites out right after this video so that you guys have that. And can join us at 3 for our social. It'll just be to catch up, to say hi, just to get some interactions with one another, and be a little crazy too at the same time. Also, there is Hope. Miss Hope Hudson might be joining us, and it is her husband's birthday today. So she's asked us if we're on later for her to pop in, and maybe we'll sing happy birthday to him. So we'll have a good time this afternoon. Please join us for that social. It's so good seeing your faces, or just even hearing your voices if you're only able to access by phone. So I miss you guys as always. And stay safe and make good choices when it either comes to food or any others. And know I'm proud of you guys and all the hard work you're putting in virtually. And Hopefully we'll find out something about schools this week from our superintendent, Molly Spearman. And again, on Friday, I plan to call each family and touch base just to make sure we have everything we need at this time. All right, I'll see you guys later at 3. See ya!